I have spent over €3,000 in my first 6 months on YouTube. Yeah, I know, right? I was shocked too. Man, we'll get a cup of tea and I'll go through the figures with you. And that's only some of it. So, how might you ask did I spend over €2,500? That was just on gear. That was just on bits and pieces. And you know what? It was quite an easy thing to do. Made some mistakes, bought some things I didn't need. You know that old saying, buy once, cry once. I probably should have listened to that instead of the buy twice and cry twice. So I'm not going to break it down into individual bits and pieces. Even if I want to do, I couldn't actually do that because I've never receipted anything I got. It was just something I was doing the other day. I realised, look, oh geez, I'm 6 months on YouTube. What's it cost me? And I was absolutely shocked. And the 3,500 isn't even the all of us. It's not. So there was things like I've only bought one tent since I started doing YouTube. That was the Lanshan 2, roughly 200 quid that came in at. The other tents, because I've been camping for years, I've had a lot of stuff already. But when you're doing YouTube, you need to do something a little bit different. You need to be out in more weather. You need to be getting out in the wind, and those nights where you'd rather be snuggled up on the sofa in front of the fire, they're the nights you really need to get out, because they're the views that people want to see. They want to see the wind and the rain hitting the tent. They want to hear it. They want to see it in pain because that's entertainment. Not like today, beautiful, stunning day here. There is hail every now and then, but so far I've managed to avoid it. This is my second attempt to make this video. The camera, I don't know, it kept pausing after every 10-15 seconds, and was just recording audio and not recording picture, but I think I have it sorted. Problem with the cache in it, but look, it's all done and dusted. So how have we spent 2.5 grand? Actually, it's nearly 3.5 grand. There was the Lanshan 2, there was pegs, there was guy lines. You're always looking to get more guy lines and more pegs, stuff like that. I spent 100 quid on a Dutch oven that so far I've only used once. Well, I'll rephrase, I've only used it once on one camp, but I did use it for the Christmas dinner, and it will get more use, so that's okay. I've probably spent maybe, again, I haven't documented it, but approximately €300 on stoves. Gas stoves, alcohol stoves, twig stoves. I suppose I have a little bit of a fetish for stoves. I do like them. And the only one I actually really regret buying is the twig stove. I don't use that very much at all. It's very slow, very hard to get dry tinder. So I don't use that all that much. Hiking poles. Yeah, I really should have just bit the bullet and bought a good set of hiking poles to begin with, but I've been buying different types of hiking poles, and as it stands at the moment, the two that I'm using at the moment they're both Nature Hike. They're supposed to be the same brand, but one is thicker and longer than the other one. Listen, keep that to yourself now. I know what you're thinking out there. Well, we'll have none of that dirt on this channel. The big one is clothing. So definitely when you're getting out in different weathers, you definitely need different clothing. So all through the winter, I've been wearing very warm leggings, and none of them were waterproof, but they were showerproof. And of course, I do have some waterproofs as well. Between jackets, the down jackets I've got two down three down jackets, and yeah, each one has a different purpose. Shower jackets. My Rab jackets, boots. I have four different pairs of hiking boots now. Again, all for different situations and different scenarios. Everything is different, and you always needed something a little bit different depending on where you're going. The boots I'm wearing today, I wouldn't wear these if I was going on a long mountain trek. The feet would be burnt off me. They'd just be too warm. So I've actually spent over €1,000 in clothing since I started YouTube. Which is absolutely crazy. Then there's been things like the sleeping mats, the sleeping bags, food. Food, like every trip, it's at least €20 every trip on food for dinner or breakfast. Not to mention the coffees. I do drink a lot of coffee. So approximately €20 every single trip. And since I started this, I don't know, I've been out maybe, I try to get out once a week. It usually ends up being once every fortnight with the odd hike in between. So that's, look, it's added up. The camera, hey, yeah, here we go, the camera. This camera that messed up on me today, I've done very well on this camera. I use a DJI Osmo Nano. So it's only a small little one. It's kind of entry level, but I needed a camera and I wasn't prepared to spend big money on it. So this one cost me €340, €360 for this. So, you know, and then of course I need software because I have to do editing, and the software is runs me about £240 a year. It was the cheapest way of doing it. So that's the gear end of it. That's how I've spent over 3,000 on gear. But there's much more than that. There's the fuel. Fuel is costing me at least €50 per week. Even if I'm only going scoping camping spots, fuel has to be got. And then the oil and the servicing of the van, I've clocked up an awful lot of mileage doing this. So believe it or not, when I worked out the figures, I've spent a minimum of €3,540 on gear, and I've spent €1,460 approximately on running costs for the van. So yeah, it's not cheap. I've made some mistakes. Definitely have made some mistakes. I think all of the clothing I got has been pretty good. I don't think I've really had any issues with any of the clothing I've bought. Stoves, definitely. So this is the stove that I tend to use most. This is the Camping Moon XD2F, I believe it's called. A fantastic stove. I also have a conical stove, an alcohol stove, which I love. Don't use it as much, depending on what you're doing, because I like to cook. I like to have the control that you get with the gas canister. You just don't have that on the alcohol stoves. Something like the Trangia, you do have a simmer ring, but you've either got a small amount of flame or a little bit of flame, or should I say, or a lot of flame. So there's not a whole lot on of control that you can have. So depending on what you're cooking, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Trangia. The only thing I don't like, I went for the larger one. I went for the Trangia 25. I think I should have went for the Trangia 27, which is smaller. Weird thing about Trangias, the higher up you go in numbers, the smaller the Trangia gets. So I probably should have gone for the 27. I went for the 25. It's not very packable, and certainly if you're going on a bit of a hike, it's not wonderful. But if it's only a short hike, the Trangia is a lovely piece of kit to have, and I really do like it. I also have my Kelly kettle, which I do love. I have to say, I do love my Kelly kettle, and I don't use it half enough. I'm going to have to bring it out on a camp one of these days. I don't think I've actually shown the Kelly kettle on YouTube at all. Again, that's one I've had a few years now. It's not one, I'm not counting the cost of the Kelly kettle in. I think I have, because I had that long before I started YouTube. Question being, would I do it again? Do you know what I would? I would absolutely do it again, because YouTube is the kick in the backside that I need to get out when I'd rather not sometimes. And once I get out there, it's wonderful, you know. It's fantastic. But I know there's a bit of laziness involved. It's hard to push yourself to get out. There's a little bit of anxiety, particularly when you don't know where you're going to camp. I always try to check the places out first. It doesn't always work out that way. That's why you'll probably find me going to some places on more than one occasion, because I've been there and I like them and I enjoy them. So yeah, you know what? I would do it all again, but I'd do it differently. I think I'd definitely do it differently. So what advice would I give somebody if they were to say to me in the morning, John, I'm looking to go out onto YouTube and do some camping videos? I tell them to go for it. Absolutely go for it. Don't make the same mistakes I made. Back in the early days, I made the mistake of promoting a couple of my videos using the Google Ads. Bad move. Bad move. So when you promote a video, yeah, it gets the reach. I have one video out there with 13,000 views on it, but they're not the sort of views that does you any good. So there's people who have clicked in, they've saw us and went, this isn't for me. So camping, the outdoors wasn't their thing, so they flicked off. So it confuses the YouTube algorithm. The algorithm then doesn't know who to send your videos to. So I haven't done that for a long time now, and the views are slowly getting better and better with each video. Um, the YouTube algorithm is a very strange thing. I was watching Paul Messner yesterday on one of his videos, and he was saying how much more difficult it is now to get views than it was when he started. I think he started back in 2016 or 2017. I think his third video hits, was it something like 300,000 views or something like that. Um, but YouTube was completely different back then. When you go onto YouTube now, onto the main page, really all you're seeing is shorts. There was a time that was all long form videos, so it's it's difficult enough to get out there on YouTube without confusing the algorithm uh, by trying to promote your videos. And I suppose what it's all about is getting subscribers. The more subscribers you have, the more your videos get out there. So if you do happen to watch this and you like the crap I come out with, hit the like button, leave an L comment, and if you see the hype button there, this mysterious hype button, if you see the mysterious hype button, hit that too, please. I've never been hyped before, so that would really be nice. And you know what? There's the rain coming in. It's probably just as well because I really need to finish this rambling. Um, Guys, thanks for coming along and allowing me to share my story with you. I hope you found something useful in this and might give you some sort of an idea as to what YouTube is actually all about. Uh, it's about a hell of a lot more than I'm after discussing, that's for sure. But yeah, so here's the rain, and yeah, it's time for me to go. Guys, mind yourselves and thanks very much, and we'll chat to you again soon, alright? Take care till then.